No,
I try to
I don't want
resist
to
it.
pass out.
Yeah, give me
roll
endurance
a-
checks.
Hell yeah, I'm trained in that.
What, flexing?
Yes. Check this. Oh, fuck my life.
I'm gonna do an endurance roll to try to stay conscious.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I have a plus 12.
Yeah, I have plus 11, so... Yeah.
Can I intimidate the blackness?
No, you cannot. Weiss,
I'm
you're
gonna
the
intimidate.
only one who manages to not pass out during the teleportation process.
I scream at the blackness.
The blackness screams right back.
I flex at it. Damn it. Can I roll anything?
Weiss just kind of crosses his arms and like falls. Like, oh god, not again.
I can't roll above a 10.
As the blackness encompasses each of your vision, you eventually succumb to the desire to pass out. Except for except for Weiss, whose monk training is apparently so godly that he can resist this.
Damn right.
What'd Weiss get?
23. He was the only one who rolled over a 20. That was it. That was the DC, 20.
Yeah, I needed an 8.
Yep.
Did
Yeah, I
not get
needed
it.
a 9.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Weiss, as soon as the teleportation effect wears off and you are safely materialized somewhere, you can look around, get sort of a bearing. You're in a very dark, domed room. There are dull sources of illumination surrounding the wall, and your companions are probably out for at least a day. If the battle fatigue is not kicking in, then the teleportation effect is going to keep them knocked out for a while. You have about a day by yourself.
Okay. I'm gonna mute myself so I can't hear anything. I'm out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah,
How
actually,
do
that's a
I
good
do
idea.
this? Mute my mic?
Yeah.
I'm
This
just
is,
taking my headset off.
This is waste time. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Was there a door or something around there?
There appears to be a door at one part of the, Okay. There appears to be a door on one side of the dome. You don't have a reference for north, south, east, or west, but there is a door in one side of the dome. Above the dome, it is a clear dome as far as you can tell, or someone has made it a very painted black dome. The dome itself appears to be clear, and whatever is above it is black. You hear some amount of cracking and groaning from the dome.
Okay, Weiss is going to get everyone together, make sure they're okay. Just because all he sees is unconscious people on the ground.
Yep.
So he checks to make sure everyone's in good health, at least.
Yeah.
And lays them parallel to one another. And then he'll go up to the door and listen against it.
Okay. Do you want to use that 17 perception, or do you want to make a new roll?
I'll do the 17 that I rolled.
Okay. You hear the cracking and bowing of the dome material, and it sounds like there's more of that sound coming from the other side. Otherwise, there are small amounts of hum, like of some sort of power or something like that, and there does not appear to be any other sound.
Okay, I'm gonna check to see if the door's unlocked. I'm not gonna open it just yet, but just to see if the handle turns.
The handle does turn. The door is unlocked.
Okay, I'm gonna creak it open a little bit and listen again.
Okay. Still the same hum and the creaking and such, but you cannot hear much beyond that.
Is there any kind of light source coming from the crack in the door, or
A
is it just
more
blackness?
It's a bit of the gray, dull light that the light sources in the room you're currently in are emitting. Basically, they're
Okay,
like
I'm
wall
going-
lights with a dimmer switch that's turned all the way down.
Okay, I'm going to stealth my way in, I guess. Like, just open it enough for myself to get through, but I'm going to kind of crouch down and go in.
Okay.
Ooh, fail that one. Okay.
The dome you emerge in is very much larger, like leaps and bounds. Inside of this dome, there are many buildings of some sort or another. Most of them appear to be sized for very, very large individuals, larger than humans at least. You get a good view above and into the dome in here, and you see small little orbs of light moving past it, stuff like that. But it is still very black outside of the dome. There are a great amount of buildings here, and there's some dim and rough illumination from little floating motes of light.
Hmm. So it's just a large room with buildings in it?
Yes. It's close to
Do the buildings have...
It's close to the city from BioShock 1.
Ah, okay. So he's going to, I guess, go to the closest building you can and like try to listen around and see if there's anyone around at all. But he's not going to call out to anyone. He's just going to silently move
Okay.
to the closest building.
Okay. Roll me a nature check or... Yeah, no, nature check works. There is a lot of wear and abandonment and neglect issues with these buildings. It looks like these buildings have been deserted for a long time. The weird thing, though, is you don't notice any sort of vermin of any sort present.
Hmm. Is there anything on the ground, like any possessions or something from whoever formerly inhabited it? Like bones at all in it?
There are some bones. It looks like it's probably some sort of like domesticated wild or domesticated like farm life, stuff like that in this building. If these were the inhabitants, they had very large bodies and very tiny bones because the doors and such are sized for creatures larger than the bones represent.
Okay, Weiss is going to actually yell out in giant speak and like give away his position. He's gonna just, generic hello, like kind of echoing into the darkness.
Okay. The voice echoes around and keeps echoing for a very long period of time. There is no response.
Okay, then Weiss is going to go into the nearest building, try the door to see if he can get in,
Okay. It is
and like,
unlocked.
open it and walk in.
This room is a very
Okay,
large... This room is a very large library. Inside of it, there are books larger than probably your torso. They are just sitting around on shelves. They appear to be covered in dust. And in the center of the room, there's a cackling, or rather, an orb with cackling blue energy contained inside of it.
Do I know anything about the orb itself?
Beyond that it illuminates or radiates some trace amounts of several schools of magic, not much. This is not something you've seen before. What you can surmise from it is it will trigger if you get close enough to it. but beyond that, you cannot surmise more.
I'm gonna go back outside and look for like a bone fragment and bring it back in, and then from the doorway pitch it in, see if the orb's triggered by movement. Just like throw it against the floor nearby.
The orbs, the energy within the orb does sort of shimmer and pulse a little bit, but it ultimately does nothing when or after the bone has landed. It appears it might have some sort of higher functioning detection beyond movement.
Well, I'm the wary kind of person, so I'm not going to chance going into it without more. It seems that it can't be triggered by sound, otherwise it would have reacted to my speaking, and any kind of like it seems to only be triggered by weight, or at least my own presence. So I'm not going to mess with it at the moment. Are there any stairs or anything around to another floor or another room?
There is a door and there are stairs, but they are farther back beyond the orb.
Okay, then I'll just make a note of that for Watcher to check out later. I'm going to look more. I'm going to go outside and look more around the abandoned buildings, see if there's anything else of note.
Okay. It appears that most of the buildings were some sort of home or something along those lines. A lot of them have sort of, for lack of a better word, furnishings and the amenities for a house, but you can't tell much more than that without, thoroughly going through the buildings.
And the dome itself is just. Can I see any like main gate outside of the dome, or?
There appear to be 5 more doors going out from the dome that does not include the one you came in through.
Okay, I'm going to try the door closest to the one we entered. That I came out of.
Mm-hmm.
I open it up and see what's in there.
This door does appear to be locked.
What's it made out of?
It looks like glass, but or a colored version of glass, something dark like an obsidian. But upon further inspection of it, it appears to be either reinforced or given an illusion to make it look like obsidian. It, as best you can guess, it has the approximate strength of steel.
Okay, I'll walk to the opposite door then, on the other side of the dome. See if it's the same thing.
It is the same material, yes.
And then the one farthest from where we came in.
Okay. Also the same material. The only one that is not that material, you can note, is the one you came out of. They do all appear to be locked, however.
Okay, then I'm going to start searching the buildings that I haven't looked into yet.
Okay.
Seeing if there's anything of note.
In one of them, you do find a massive amount of treasure. Coins, gems, and such. This is... let me quick grab the contents of that so I can send it to you. Oh, wait. I will send it via chat. But suffice it to say, it is a very large collection of items and gear. Because it gets... Yeah, it gets those 2 rolls. a lot of wealth in the monetary sense, and several magical items that you can find.
I'll leave all of that there for now. Just kind of keep a mental note that there was such a place.
Okay.
Is there anything else in any of the other buildings?
A few of them have smaller libraries, but all of them seem to have that cackling orb. Most of them appear to have the libraries, though, as like an add-on to a house or something of that sort.
Okay, then after searching at least all the buildings and making a crude map of the surrounding area with my map making kit that I have, I just kind of like jot down turns and everything. I will backtrack back to where everyone is and check on them,
Okay.
and then just spend the rest of my time there, like make a basic camp and just while away the time meditating.
Okay. They will all come to relatively shortly, another hour or two. As they filter themselves back into the call, as they do, you can choose to inform them, but I'm going to go fill up my water bottle because I desperately need a drink of water.
Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm here.
Welcome back. Line's just getting some water at the moment, but basically, there's a big dome outside that is like has barred obsidian-looking doors that might have a magical illusion on them, and it's kind of like the dome is big enough to house like many small buildings. And I've made kind of a crude map of it, and in a few of these buildings is these spinning blue orbs. I tried like throwing rocks in there and stuff to see if it was triggered by movement, and then I tried calling to it and see if it was triggered by noise, but it seems to only be triggered if I would walk into it. So I decided to stay away from it until Watcher was conscious. So if he makes a map of this, we'll have the location of each of these blue orbs, and they're in kind of like these libraries that are giant size almost. Like all the remnants of bones are from like a smaller kind of race, but the majority of the buildings are built for like giant type people. And in one of the buildings, that listed treasure is what I found, but I didn't take any of it because I didn't want to set off any kind of traps.
I think we should get the treasure.
Absolutely.
So after that, I just came back to where all of you guys are and just like set up camp and waited the rest of the time until you were conscious.
Any idea where we're at?
No, it didn't seem like there was any windows or anything that would show me outside, and I tried every one of the dome doors, but they're all locked tight.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, Kara is using the restroom at the moment, but I filled in everyone else.
Okay. Okay. So, does anyone have any ideas?
Let's go get the treasure.
Other than breaking doors and scooping treasure, which both ideas I think are terrible. No.
I would like Watcher to take a look at those blue orbs, see if he can tell anything about them that I can't.
Yeah, I'll take a look at those.
You're quiet as hell, dude.
I don't know why.
Do you have a headset mic?
Yeah, but I didn't change anything.
Is the mic up?
Yeah.
Pull the mic down.
No, I mean it's not up. It's.
Ow. Weird.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh well.
What about now?
It's still about the same.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, to fill Kara in, she wasn't listening either, so there's a massive dome beyond this place we came into, and it houses a bunch of giant-sized buildings with the remnants of like smaller creatures, like bones strewn around the ground. I checked all the buildings, and a few of them have libraries with giant-sized text on the shelves, and they're these spinning blue orbs. I tried to like pitch a few things into it to see if it was triggered by vibration, and I also tried speaking out loud to see if it was triggered by my voice, but other than actually going in there myself, I haven't been able to have any luck with it. So I want Watcher to take a look at them. And in one room, I found a bunch of treasure that I didn't touch either, just in case there was any kind of trap. On the outside of the dome, there are 3 massive doors that have like a obsidian kind of sheen to them, and they might be some kind of illusion, but they're like as strong as steel from what I can tell, and they're all locked tight.
Okay, so big scary fortress.
Also, the opposite side of the dome, everything is black. So, there's that. So,
Why's it gotta be black?
because that is the relevant color to where you are. So,
Alright, so I look at Weiss and ask him if he can lead us to the orbs, and I'll take a look at them.
Yeah, I will do so, and take him to that first building I found the blue orb in.
okay. You can make me an Arcana roll if you'd like, Watcher. Or anyone else who wishes to.
Boom!
Okay. It's a powerful combination of illusion, enchantment, and transmutation. And a sensor component, so divination. The sensor component looks for life, for lack of a better word. It'll trigger off of undead or living beings who have a requisite amount of intelligence. It appears to be some sort of guide or function, like basically a magical AI. Some sort of either library guide or, a companion, something like that. And it will trigger if a living being passes close enough to it.
So I'm gonna walk up to it and see if I can activate this thing. It sounds like it's gonna be like Cortana.
As you walk up to it and you get close enough to it, the orb flickers, or the power within the orb, the blue sparks and all that, flicker and cackle, and after a few seconds, the dim lights shoot up in intensity to roughly the equivalent of torch lights, and a male figure, tall, wearing a red robe with platinum trim that appears to be draped over some sort of ceremonial platinum plate, emerges from the orb as if he was projected out. And he stands for a moment and turns to each of you, looks at each of you sort of inquisitively, and
I liked inquisitively better.
Yeah.
And we'll sort of give each of you a stare and then say, "You are not a member of the Creators. Who are you?"
We're the replacements.
Wait, the creators? Oh, goodies. Anyway, I first ask, we'll tell you who we are once you tell us where we're at.
He pauses
And-
for another second.
I'm gonna roll diplomacy because I don't want to fight again.
If you fought an illusion and lost, I would laugh at you. It has no physical means of inflicting damage upon you.
It would still be funny.
Yes, it would. He will, after his pause, say, "Trace amounts of creator blood detected. Answering query. You are on the Platinum Knight refuge ship.
Platinum Knight refuge ship?
Or Ark if you prefer, yes."
Are we in space?
Query unanswered. Unknown terms. Space.
Hold on. Creator blood?
Yes, trace amounts of blood of the creator or of the creator lineage is detected in
What
each
do
of
you
you.
mean?
He will ponder for a second as if he's querying vast amounts of data banks, and will say, I will produce a small image of a creator. And he holds his hand out in front of him, and from his hand springs an image of something that, Watcher, you actually know a little bit about. Most everyone else, you've heard of them, but you assume they were myths, because they're, well, actually, no.
jeez.
You've all thought these. It's a dragon.
Oh. Wait, that's the creator?
Are you asking that to the figure?
Yeah.
Yes,
Do I look like a dragon to you?
these were the creators of this arc, and the other 11 refuge arcs.
Wait.
Why?
I look at the party. Who has dragon blood in them?
I've had dragon blood on me.
Uh-oh.
Remember? I kissed it. I was like,
I will spare you all some amount of headache and paperwork. It is all of you. Everyone is suffused with a small amount of dragon blood. Some of you have more of it than others, Watcher, but all of you have dragon's blood. It's a very, very trace amount.
Escatla's gonna be kind of like looking herself over for scales that she might have missed. So what in the world would dragons want building boats in space or wherever this is?
Are you posing this to the figure?
Yes.
He will stop for a second and respond. Survival.
Wait, is there... So I look at him again. Is there a creator on this ship?
I'll pause for a second. Unknown. Life form detection offline. Engine banks A through E or A through D 50% functional. E through H are 10% functional. Systems are not enough systems are operational to tell you what beings exist on this ship.
when was the last time you saw a creator?
Unknown.
What year is it?
Actually, that is a good question. And his answer will be of no help, because I think I have him, or have the time in a different time measurement. Hold on. By our reckoning, it is surpassed the year 5000.
Well, that helps me. No way possible.
Do you know anything helpful?
Well, Dave or anyone else who wants to could make a history or arcana check. Both of these DCs will be exceptionally high, but you can make them.
I'm actually trained in history, so...
Okay.
Ugh.
With a...
I say if voice assisted me, it's a 20.
I'll assist too.
With your knowledge that you know of, or with your information and knowledge and all that, that would place it before even the Old Empire, or the Old Empires rather, which were believed to be the first races of man and other mortals.
Did we just go back in time?
No. A year 5000, like this one, would mean that the calendar started well before the old empires.
Yeah. Meaning we're still in the same timeline. We're just... Whoever we're dealing with counted their time from a much earlier point than man has. Alright, can... I look at the guy. Can we repair the engine bays?
He will pause for a second. Unknown, potentially.
And then...
Where?
One more question. What plane are we on?
He will pause for a moment and say, Our last our last sensor data and such indicates we have never left the prime material plane. We are still on the planet Grail.
Okay.
I think we should wander around and fix things. Have a
Yeah.
montage. It's a 1980s montage. Montage.
Does he have any blueprints for repair for these engine bays?
He will pause for another moment and say, unfortunately, that data is lost or inaccessible.
This guy obviously has nothing that we can use.
I
He's
know,
broken.
right?
So Nargosh is going to wander off.
Wait, one last thing. What's your name?
I am created in the image of the person who founded this ship. I am created in the image of Bahamut.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, Platinum Knight. Is that Knight with a K or Knight with an N?
Okay.
You said K?
Yes, it is a knight with a K.
That makes so much more sense now.
I get it.
Yep. Alright, we're gonna go fix these things. Let's go. Let's go.
All the doors outside are locked still.
Let's go to the treasure rooms.
Ask
For
if he can
reasons.
possibly teleport us to the rooms that need repairing.
He can't do anything. He obviously can't even do that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He will say, I can disengage the locks.
Oh, yeah.
That,
you should
at
do that.
least.
He will say, it has been done.
Okay.
He
At
will,
least you can do
So-
something.
He will note he has no sensor data for what could be in these rooms, so proceed with extreme caution.
I think we definitely need to go to the engine bay, if possible, to see if we can get power restored. And wait, is this electricity? Did we just discover electricity?
The figure will ponder for a moment and say, well, it is known that dragons can produce lightning and such with their breath weapons.
Face holes. Face holes.
Yes, with their face holes. But no, the engines do not appear to run off of this power.
Okay, let's go to the engine bays then. We have to get power restored to this place.
Nargosh is going to grab
I'm gonna-
a wrench.
I'm gonna turn towards the archive and ask if he has a portable version of himself, or can we take the archive with us?
He will pause for a moment and say, I cannot be moved, however there should be other orbs such as myself that will connect into the same database.
So yes, we
Okay.
can find
Okay,
you
so
again.
he could assist us in repairing anything if we access them at least.
Yep. And this is actually a good place to end the session.
Alright.
So,
Okay.
next week we will be starting late. We'll start, I think, around 6:30 or 7 next Friday. We are going back to a Friday. I have a family commitment.
Well,
It is my dad's birthday. We're going out for birthday
Oh.
dinner.
yeah, you
You
kind
should
of
really explain to him about the podcast.
I have a podcast.
I can't go, I'm Bowflexing.
Mom, get out of my room. I'm Bowflexing.
But this has been the Basements and Bears podcast. We'll be back next week, and these VODs and the actual audio podcast will be up at some point. See you guys then.